it's unusual that I will agree outright with an overall average IMDb rating. But with They Came Together, I kind of feel like the 5.6 out of 10 is pretty reasonable. This is across 21,000 reviews, so it's a reasonably well-received film and certainly a frequently watched film. This was released in 2014, directed by David Wain and written by Michael Showalter and David Wain, and stars Paul Rudd and Amy Poehler, and pretty brilliant supporting cast as well, including Ellie, Kemper and Cobie Smulders, both of whom are brilliant, and Jack McBrayer and Melanie Lynskey. The list goes on. Really, really great cast, and really something. John Stamos as well, although when I saw this for the first time, I had not yet watched Full House, so didn't know who Stamos was. Great pull factors there. The casting is brilliant, but I have to say, the reason I agree with that 5.6 is because the narrative drags it down a bit. It's not a bad narrative, but as far as rom-coms go, it's nothing unique. It doesn't really push any boundaries. It's not the most hilarious rom-com ever, but it's still decent enough, and I love Amy Poehler and I love Paul Rudd. So as our protagonists, Molly and Joel, I think it works really well, and they're great together and have this amazing chemistry. I'll read the description from IMDb so you can find out what the narrative is about. And this says, Molly owns a quaint little sweet shop. Joel works for a gigantic candy company threatening to shut her down. How they meet, fall in love, break up and get back together is hilariously recounted in this rom-com spoof. I don't really feel it as a spoof, to be perfectly honest with you. It's certainly, if that was the intention, I don't feel like that's what came across. It just feels like a pretty average rom-com. But there are, I guess, certain things that are atypical. I'm not really going to say what those certain things are because they are a little bit deeper into the narrative and I don't want to spoil too much. But the fundamental aspects are there, and if you like rom-coms, you're going to like this. I am partial to a rom-com, and when you have a cast like this, I'm going to watch it, I'm going to enjoy it, and I absolutely did enjoy this. But again, it's probably not a film I'd ever watch again. I've seen it once all the way through, and then I've seen bits and pieces here and there. And every time I've seen bits and pieces of it, I've never felt like I want to watch the full thing again. But again, I've enjoyed the recaps and the bits that I've seen. The acting's good. There are some really nice locations, it mixes things up a bit. The way the story is told, I think, is really effective. It's interesting. I think it's trying to do something different with this whole spoof. But maybe not. It's not quite as successful as it would have liked to have been. That being said, it is good. If you like Poehler or Rudd, you are going to really enjoy this. Maybe only as a one-time viewing, but I think you'll still like it. Films, don't need to be watched more than once to be appreciated, and They Came Together is certainly one that I would recommend, but I wouldn't say expect wonders. It's good, maybe even great, but not perfect.